Alright guys, welcome back with me, Fitri Shafiq. So first, for my today's presentation, I'm going to tell you the flow of the whole presentation. First, I will discuss on the formation of the US Constitution. Second, I will explain to you the basic features of the US Constitution. Third, I will show you some of the amendments in the US Constitution. And last but not least, the other sources of law in the US itself. I'm sure that most of you is not familiarized with the US Constitution law for a basic reason that we are not Americans, we are Malaysians, we are UiTM students. So I think it's a great opportunity for you to know other country constitutions, especially United States of America. So let's start, shall we? So for first, the formation of the constitutions. Like other things in this world, everything starts with something, including the Constitution of the United States. So the Constitution of the United States is established as the American national government and fundamental laws, and guarantees certain basic rights for its citizens. It was signed on September 17, 1787 by delegates to the Constitutional Conventions in Philadelphia. Under America's first governing document, which is the Articles of Confederation, somehow this article is less of powers, as it formed a government that was weak, and every state in the United States operates like independent nations. So they are not actually federated, they are acting like independent states. So the US Constitution is not the first document, it's the second after the Articles of Confederation. So because this Article of Confederation is too bad, so they formed new constitution for the United States. At the 1787 conventions, the delegates devised a plan for a stronger federal government with three branches. First, the legislature, the executive, and last, the judiciary. Along with a system that we all familiarize, is a system of check and balance, which of course to ensure that no single branch would have too much power upon others. So let's move on. So I'm going to read to you the preamble of the Constitutions. Are you ready? Alright. The preamble of the United States Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this constitution for the United States of America. So that the preamble is like the opening words for the constitution. You guys get it? Alright, we move on. So let's start with the basic features of the constitution, which is I only choose three basic features: the Article 1, the Article 1, the Article 2, and the Article 3. So the Article 1 is commonly on the legislative branch. Article 2 is on the executive branch, and Article 3 is on the judicial branch, and also plus with the amendments in the Constitution. So the legislative branch is explained in the Article 1, Section 1 of the United States of America. Section 1 of the Constitution of the United States of America. So it says that all legislature powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which consists of a Senate and House of Representatives. Article 1, Section 2 then explain the House of Representatives consists of 485 elected officials. Population in every state determine the number of the congressmen. So, how to become the member of the House of Representatives? Alright, first, you must at least 35 years old, not less, not more. And you can less, but not more. And then, you had lived in the United States for 7 years. And then, you live in the state that you wish to represent, and then you elected by the people. That's all for you to be the member of House of Representatives in the United States Congress. And the congressmen serve 2-year terms and up for re-election every even year. So you can see here, the legislature also have the sole power of impeachment of the president, and also they have the power on initiate tax laws and spending bills. Alright, the Senate. The Senate is explained in Article 1, Section 3, whereby in this article, 100 elected members only in the Senate, House of Senate. 2 senators from each state. It's different with the members of House of Representatives, with the population determine the number of congressmen, but for the Senate, is an equal representation where every state only have 2 senators. To run for Senate, the person shall be at least 30 years old, live in US for 9 years, and live in the state you represent. Senators serve 6-year terms, and 1/3 of the Senate up for election every even year. The Vice President of the United States shall be the President of the House of Senate, but shall have no vote unless they be equally divided. So the senator itself must be elected by the people. Before this is elected by the legislature, but now, until now, is elected by the people. So, in conclusion, both houses in the Congress, which is House of Representatives and also Senate, have the power on various matters. They have the power on tax, coin money, declare war, and regulate foreign and interstate commerce and many more. So we just finished with the legislative. So move on to the executive. In Article 2, Section 1, it mentioned that the power of executive vested on the president. The president served for 4 years in 1 term, and together with the vice president. Then in Article 2, Section 2 of the United States Constitution, it says that the president have few powers. Actually, he has many powers. So some of the powers is that he has power over the military, power over the cabinet, and power on the appointment. So in this Section 2 of Article 2, it says that President shall be the Commander-in-Chief of Army and Navy, make treaties with 2/3 support of senators, power to grant reprieve and pardon except for impeachment, appoint ambassador, judges of Supreme Courts, heads of federal agencies. But of course, we have the system of checks and balance. So the power of president is not absolute. The Senate will vote for the each appointment made by the president as part of system of check and balance. But the president also has the veto power either to pass or reject the bill made by the Congress. So this is somehow another station that represents check and balance being applied in the United States branches of government. So in this, if you can see black box, I don't sure you can see or not. Article 2, Section 4, that explain the president, vice president, and all civil officers could be removed from office on impeachment on conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. So you are not silly, Mr. President. You can be removed by the power of the Congress. So moving on. Alright, if you wish, you ever dream to be the President of the United States of America, there are few requirements that you need to fulfill. First, you must at least 35 years old. You are a natural born citizen. You live in the United States for at least 14 years. 14 years. And you serve for 2 years, 4 terms. So every term you serve for every term you will serve for 4 years. So maximum is 2 terms, so 8 years. And of course, the presidential election is held every 4 years. So this is current. You can see that very confident face behind me, Mr. Donald J. Trump. He is the 45th and current president of the United States of America, and he was sworn angkat sumpah on January 20, 2017. Now it's 2019. It's almost 2 years. 2 years, 8 months, if I'm not mistaken. So he's the president right now. Who's next? I don't know. So moving on to the judiciary. Yes, we have discussed on the legislature. We have discussed also on the executive. Now, last basic features of the United States Constitution is on the judiciary. So, the judiciary branch in the United States government is explained in Article 3, Section 1, whereby the judicial power of the US is vested on one Supreme Court. And in Article 3, Section 2, it barely explained on the jurisdiction, whereby the Supreme Court basically has the jurisdiction over all matters, especially to interpret the constitutionality of laws. So it seems like they are upholding Constitution as a supreme law. So every law that is not in accordance with the Constitution of the States is going to be rendered void. Seems to us in Malaysia. Our Constitution is supreme law of the land. No law shall be above the Constitution. So it's same practice, same customs, same approach that have been practiced in the United States of America for hundreds of years. Alright? So you can see the link between us and the United States of America. So now moving on to the amendments. Right? Amendments not only in our Constitution, except the United States of America Constitution also had been amended for various of time. For what? For that document, legal document of destiny, to be applicable with the current situation right now. Alright. So the detective Gordon Timson had finished, so we have no longer background. Okay, forgot. Okay, the amendment of the Constitution. The US Constitution was written in 1787 and ratified in 1788. In 1791, there's one bill. What bill? The Bill of Rights, where it's also been ratified with 10 amendments. Since then, since those 10 amendments in 1781, there are 17 more amendments have been added. The amendment deal with a variety of rights, ranging from freedom of speech to the right to vote. So we are going to see on the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom to petition to the government. Alright, you can see this is the First Amendment. These rights were important to establish because they assured that individuals could live, speak, and act without fear of being punished for disagreeing with the government. So the United States citizens will not have any fears to express their opinions, to express their thoughts publicly. So there are a few issues regarding this First Amendment. First, we have the issue of Twitter bots, and then we have the issue of White House banning a CAN reporter. So this behind is the picture of a CAN reporter named as Jim Acosta. He had been banned by the White House because he had asked so many questions very aggressively, and the White House cannot stand with it anymore. So the issue whether or not this freedom of speech had been denied. So the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is deal with the right to bear arms. Hak untuk memiliki senjata. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms should not be infringed. In 2008, the Supreme Court ruled 5-4 that US citizens have a constitutional right to keep a loaded handgun at home for self-defense. But of course, there's issues whether it's safe for the people, for every citizen in the United States of America to have guns. How come you feel safe if people next to you, people in front of you, people behind you have guns? They can shoot at you at any time. So that's the issue on the Second Amendment. But somehow, somewhere, is stated in the Constitution that is their rights to keep and to bear arms. So the Third Amendment is very unique, why? Because the Americans try to forget any historical link with the British. This Third Amendment is one of it, whereby it prohibits forcing citizens to provide lodging for soldiers. The Third Amendment prohibits the government from forcing citizens to give lodging to soldiers in their home without permission. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Before the Revolutionary War, Americans were required to give food and lodging to British soldiers as in parts of the 1765 Quartering Act. But according to National Constitution Center, the Third Amendment is the least litigated in the Bill of Rights, and the Supreme Court has never decided a case based on it. The Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment deals with search and seizure, the rights of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but probable cause, right? Supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person and things to be seized. It prevents the government and police from searching or seizing the homes, belongings, or bodies of citizens without a probable cause of a warrant. So the government is prohibited from doing research and doing searching and seizuring in your house without any probable cause. So it protects the right of the citizen itself. So moving on to the Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment is on the rights of the people accused of a crime, right? It gives people accused of a crime a variety of rights and protection. The right to a grand jury indictment for felony offences in federal courts, the restriction on double jeopardy, protection against false self-incrimination, the guarantee of due process of law, the prevention of the government taking private